The Handmaid's Tale isn't just another check-paying project for the cast, as many have had to deal with different situations concerning the show. Let's get to know the secrets they aren't telling the fans. Clash with Scientology. There's one thing Elisabeth Moss can't avoid answering in her interviews, and that's her background in the controversial religious organization called Scientology. However, The Handmaid's Tale, which won many awards at the 2017 Emmys, received a lot of backlash due to the similarities the show has with Elizabeth's religion. Elizabeth, who was reluctant to talk about her religious views with the Daily Beast, said there's two things you're never supposed to talk about at a dinner: politics or religion. The fans who needed answers from Elizabeth have begun to speculate that the actress might have the same views on how women and the rest of the world are treated, because her religion also tilts the same way. But Elizabeth has said she's an expressive person, and also said people should be allowed to believe in what they want. In her words, it says, "I think people should be allowed to talk about what they want to talk about and believe what they want to believe, and you can't take that away." Elizabeth made it clear that she's a liberal who lets people believe in what they want, and the same respect should be given to her as well. In the interview, Elizabeth was asked where she stands with the LGBTQ+ community, given that Scientology has made themselves clear about not supporting the community. But Elizabeth made sure to pass her message again, that she says she believes people can be what they want. Also, an Instagram user once asked Elizabeth in 2017 if the Hulu series has caused her to have second thoughts on Scientology, given that Gilead and Scientology share a similar belief that all outside sources are wrong, to which Elizabeth responded, "That's actually not true at all about Scientology." The actress, who felt hurt about reactions due to her religious background and her acting, went further to say, "Religious freedom and tolerance and understanding the truth and equal rights for every race, religion and creed are extremely important to me. The most important things to me, probably. And so Gilead and The Handmaid's Tale hit me on a very personal level. Thanks for the interesting question." Different cast. It's fun to think that the cast of The Handmaid's Tale you're seeing aren't the first to act in a show that's based on Margaret Atwood's novel The Handmaid's Tale. In fact, the book had already been adapted into a movie under the same title as the popular show. The movie, which came out in 1990 and was directed by Volker Schlondorf, had Natasha Richardson, Faye Dunaway and others as the main cast of the film. Unlike the series, which went on later to feature Elisabeth Moss, Yvonne Strahovski and the rest, the film didn't gain much recognition and was barely known. When the series was about to come out in 2017, Le Movie Bouffe took a look at the film and why it wasn't accepted fully to say, "Schlondorf's treatment is idly drab and antiseptic, indifferent almost, as though he felt Atwood's vision was cinematic enough." The analysis continued to explain how the fans perceive the film when it says, "We aren't nearly as engaged as we ought to be. The film feels passive and sterile," which further explains the point that the series went extra to make the adaptation of the book into TV become haunting and very vivid for the viewers. A diverse cast. In Margaret Atwood's novel, there's no diversity in races, and there's no mention of LGBTQ characters either, because they are banned in the book version of Gilead. This was changed in the TV series, with Bruce as the showrunner, who didn't think it made any sense to be racially prejudiced when it comes to making a sensitive story such as The Handmaid's Tale. Bruce said, "What's the difference between making a TV show about racists and making a racist TV show where you don't hire any actors of colour?" However, despite Bruce trying to make the show as transparent as possible in the castings, the show has received much criticism for how they approach racial issues instead. In 2017, a Guardian article said that the story of The Handmaid's Tale is exactly what black women have gone through in history, and that it was a sad sight to see white women portraying that same experience on the screen. The article says, "Isn't it odd, then, to neither openly acknowledge this history nor grapple with its legacy on screen?" In the same year, Vulture also tackles the producers of The Handmaid's Tale for their castings of not really going deeply into what being a handmaid of colour means. The article reads, "The show doesn't end up considering the racial dynamics of June's family and what it means to be a handmaid of colour." Vulture, who thinks the casting should have been better by focusing and making it more about women of colour and portraying history and present-day reality instead, said, "In reality though, it's more concerned with the interiority of white women at the expense of people of colour who recognise realize that Gilead isn't a possible horrifying future, but the reality of what America has always been. Although fans think that since the show was adapted from the novel, which was only focused on how women were treated regardless of race, it had done its job by portraying the exact same message and had gone the extra mile to make available a diversity of races that wasn't present in Margaret's book. Elizabeth's naturality. Fans really can't stop thinking about Elizabeth's extraordinary portrayal of June. The show, which repeatedly zooms in on Elizabeth's face to show every emotion her character was going through, hasn't gone unnoticed by fans who could see that the actress played her role without makeup on. Even though the cast often do their acting without makeup, sometimes makeup is needed to make the cast look more presentable for filming. But Elizabeth literally went on the show to look like a very tired version of herself. Elizabeth claims that she did in fact have to look tired and get round circles under her eyes when she said, "If you're not sleeping a lot because you're working your butt off and you get dark circles and bags under your eyes, the more you have, the better. You're supposed to look stressed." The fans were definitely astonished to discover that even the dark circles underneath Elizabeth's eyes weren't makeup. They were all natural. The actress said that sleeping made it go away for a time, and that made the makeup artist on set sad. She said, "In fact, one night I got sleep and I came in and my makeup artist was like, 'Oh dear,' and was disappointed that I didn't have dark circles under my eyes that we needed." June's voiceover. The fans would soon get to learn that Elizabeth Moss put everything into being part of The Handmaid's Tale, and it's no wonder that it's such a huge success. One of the most powerful tools that gets viewers glued to every show is a voiceover, and the fans definitely agree that June's voiceover did a number on them. The voiceover helped the fans to see more of what June's life is like, which is different from the versions she has to wear as a handmaid. Bruce said of the voiceover, "We shot these bits of Lizzie just sitting in a room quietly going through emotional phases. And when I watched, it paired up with the voiceover. It worked perfectly, and I said, that's lucky." Well, the truth of how June's voiceover was able to sync with her actions perfectly, the fans would find that being lucky wasn't enough to describe how it went down. She didn't just have her voice matched with her actions miraculously, she worked it out. The actress had memorized the voiceover monologue and was playing it in her head as she was getting her actions on during filming that the voiceover would match with. When Elizabeth was praised by Vulture for such an excellent feat, the actress said, "It's part of the script, why wouldn't I memorize it? How else am I supposed to know what I'm thinking? I'm sitting there for 30 seconds. I have to be thinking about something. I just thought that was part of my job." Showrunner obsession. Another interesting fact is that long before Bruce Miller became a showrunner, he had always wanted to make the Handmaid's Tale book into a TV show. Bruce, who revealed in an interview with the Dream Cage that he became drawn to the book when he was in college, expressed his love and obsession with the book when he said, "I love the story. I was always a big fan of books that built the post-apocalyptic world. After school, I read it a couple of times over the years." Bruce became attracted to the characters the writer Margaret Atwood created. He said reading Margaret's masterpiece was part of his success story towards becoming a writer and thinking like one. He said, "Margaret Atwood was really one of the people that taught me how to write and how to think like a writer. As my career moved into TV, I thought, oh, this would make a great TV show." The showrunner mentioned what got him hooked on the story when he said, "It all goes back to the people who live in this world and how they survive, and how they're trapped by their own choices." Bruce explained how he couldn't wait to tell the story of The Handmaid's Tale when he said, "I wanted to tell the story about how these people lived through the experience and how they came out the other side alive and with some of their identity still intact." What do you think about these revelations? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.